questions? If not, I would accept a motion to approve the supervisor's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. All right. Okay. At this time, I would open the floor to any comments regarding the proposed contract with the Bennington Fire Company. It is for 1 year for fire and emergency medical services. Is there anyone here to speak on that? There being none. Guess I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Who made the motion?
Me.
Okay. The motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. At this time, I would open the floor for comments on a proposed local law to override the 2026 property tax cap limit. I have copies of the local law on the back table. Last year, we did not need to override the tax cap. This year, we do, and it's related to the borrowing that we undertook for the construction of the addition onto the highway garage, as well as for the new dump plow truck that we have at the highway department. So, just for your information, the amount over the tax cap limit, it's quite large, it's $127,406, but the bond payments actually come in at $154,003.13. So if it wasn't for that borrowing, we would actually be under the tax cap limit. And the property taxes would decrease. But we did have a public hearing on the borrowing, and no one spoke up in opposition to doing the building construction, which we used ARPA funds towards that we received after the COVID pandemic, and also the borrowing. Are there any questions regarding the tax cap? Are there any questions regarding adopting the proposed local law? Okay. I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Resolution 25-11-2, approve the 2026 contract with Bennington Fire Company. Whereas the Bennington Town Board has held a duly advertised public hearing on this 12th day of November 2025 regarding the 2026 contract between the town and the Bennington Fire Company for fire and emergency medical services. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves a contract for services in the following amount for 2026, $109,500. And be it further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to sign the above agreement for the town. Are there any questions among the board members? Okay, I've got a motion
I'll second it.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. He went and took off. That's gonna be a mistake, but we'll catch him later. Okay, new business. Readopt the Town of Bennington Code of Ethics. Whereas the Town of Bennington adopted a Code of Ethics for all town employees in 1971, and whereas the town board has conducted a review of the said code, finds all areas to remain applicable and appropriate for the conduct and performance of town employees. Now therefore be it resolved that this town board readopt by resolution the Town of Bennington Code of Ethics, and be it further resolved, a copy of this Code of Ethics shall be made available to the New York State Comptroller's Office as well as to all employees of the town.
Thanks, John. So does everyone have to, all employees have to sign
Right,
this?
right, that they've received the copy.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
And a motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Resolution number 4, authorize to advertise for bids and award bid for highway equipment. Whereas the town board has accepted and awarded a bid for the purchase of a 2027 Western Star dump truck for the town highway department from Freightliner and Western Star as per resolution 10-8, now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for the additional items to equip the truck for snow plowing, namely dump body, front and rear wing towers, salt spreader, front plow, wing and plow lights, and be it further resolved that said bids, including a non-conclusive bidding certificate, be received by the town clerk no later than 5 p.m. November 19th, 2025, to be opened in the presence of a quorum of the town board at 5:30 p.m. on November 19th, 2025 at the town hall. And be it further resolved, the town board is authorized to accept and award the lowest responsible bidder for the said, or for the purchase of said equipment. So this is part 2 of the truck that we will be ordering. Can I get a motion on the resolution?
Second.
What? Oh. Okay. Got, I hear you, I don't hear John. Oh, he's so soft. All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Resolution 11-5. Designate December 2025 as Volunteer First Responders Month in the town of Bennington. Whereas volunteering of one's time and resources is an essential part of our country's tradition and is essential to its spirit, with volunteers showing that they truly care and share generosity of themselves. And whereas volunteer firefighters and emergency medical personnel provide a vital public service, and the members of these teams are ready to protect life and property, as well as provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas volunteer fire services have grown to fill a gap by providing additional life-saving and first response services, community risk reduction, and fire prevention efforts. Emergency medical services provide important out-of-hospital care, including education and preventative medicine. And whereas access to quality emergency medical care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas the ranks of New York's volunteer first responders has plunged by 33% over the last 2 decades, indicating the struggles communities are experiencing in recruiting and retaining dedicated volunteers, often due to the thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education donated to enhance their technical and leadership skills, as well as the potential dangers involved in responding to calls. And whereas in Wyoming County alone, the value of the services provided by these volunteers exceed $4 million in response to calls, $1 million in training time, $2.5 million in equipment maintenance, and $40 million in hall maintenance and equipment costs exceeding $30 million, with these dollar amounts achieved through donated time and skill, fundraising efforts, and the support of their communities that recognize and appreciate their service. And whereas during the month of December, when our residents are celebrating holidays, time with their families, our firefighters and emergency medical personnel are responding to the call of duty throughout this town, despite the time of day, weather conditions, and personal obligations. And whereas local fire companies play an active, vital role in our communities and provide opportunities for residents to volunteer in a meaningful way to their hometown, with many companies experiencing multi-generational and long-term memberships. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Bennington hereby proclaims the month of December 2025 as Volunteer Firefighters and Emergency Medical Personnel Month in the town of Bennington, and encourages all residents to recognize and thank the men and women serving in the Bennington Fire Company, the Colesville Fire Company, the Harris Corners Fire Company, and the Varysburg Fire Company, our local heroes, for their dedication and service to their neighbors and community. And before I get a motion on approving this, I'd like to ask anyone here who's a volunteer firefighter or EMT, if you please stand up and be recognized if you're a member of the local fire department. And thank you, Bernie, too. You didn't stand up, but
Well,
you're I know you're not active, but you're a long-term member, paving the way for other members.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Now, can I get a motion on this proclamation?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 11-6, declare surplus property and authorize disposition. Whereas the town highway superintendent has reviewed department equipment and determined the following to be surplus and or no longer needed for use. 2014 Ford Super Duty F550 dump truck with Highlander Junior sander, and a 2000 Hi-Pack C830B roller. Said equipment to be disposed of in the most advantageous means to the town. And we did discuss this in the workshop session, and we are pursuing having Auctions International put this on their website and having the equipment go up for auction in the next few weeks. Is there any discussion on?
Is there a cap, or is there a
Is there?
reserve?
We have the ability to always reject any bids if they're too low.
Okay.
May I get a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Resolution number 7, re-levy of unpaid water fees. Postville Water District. Be it resolved, the Bennington Town Board hereby authorizes the County of Wyoming to re-levy unpaid Postville Water District usage charges totaling $5,105.65 onto the 2026 town and county tax bills. And you have a breakdown of the fees that are unpaid. There's, say, roughly a dozen.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, may I have a second?
I'll second
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 8, establishing CDL compensation policy for highway department employees. Be it resolved that the town of Bennington will reimburse upon receipt of proper documentation to an employee for out-of-pocket costs for a New York State commercial driver's license when required by town management for the performance of an employee's job for the town. Said reimbursement shall be structured over a period of not more than 3 years of continuous employment. And I know we are not the only town that has set up such an arrangement with their highway employees in order to actually fill a lot of job vacancies for CDLs. And
I'll make a motion.
I will accept the motion.
it. Awesome.
Okay. And a motion by Councilman Jones, and a second.
I'll second
Okay, Berger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 11-9, local law number 6, year 2025, entitled Override the Tax Levy Limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3C. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Bennington as follows. Section 1, legislative intent. It is the intent of this local law to override a limit on the property, of the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Bennington, County of Wyoming, pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 3C, and to allow the town of Bennington, County of Wyoming, to adopt a town budget for town purposes, fire protection districts, and any other special or improvement district governed by the town board for the fiscal year 2026 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by General Municipal Law, Section 3C. Section 2, authority. This local law is adopted pursuant to subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law, Section 3C, which expressly authorizes the town board to override the tax levy limit by the adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the town board. Section 3, tax levy limit override. The town board of the town of Bennington, County of Wyoming, is hereby authorized to adopt a budget for the fiscal year 2026 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the limit specified in General Municipal Law 3C. Severability. If any clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, or part of this local law or the application thereof to any person, fire, or corporation or circumstance shall be adjusted by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid or unconstitutional, such order of judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder thereof. Such shall be confined in its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision or part of this local law or in its application to the person, individual, fire, or corporation or circumstance directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment or order shall be rendered. Section 5, effective date. This local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State.
So that will be local law number 6.
6, correct. May I have a motion? And a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Resolution 1111, appointments and reappointments to various boards. Be it resolved that the following individuals are hereby appointed / reappointed to town committees / boards as noted. Town Planning Board, Jacob Fitzpatrick, South Shore Drive, Alden, New York, term to expire December 31st, 2029. Zoning Board of Appeals, Richard Jensen, member, 1909 Clinton Street, Attica, New York, term to expire December 31st, 2029. Kim Kiker, member, Clinton Street, Colesville, New York, term to expire 12/31/2029. Ellen Grant, secretary alternate, Clinton Street, Alden, term to expire December 31st, 2027. Board of Assessment Review, Christopher Hickey, member, 1308 Fusendale Road, Colesville, term to expire December 31st, 2030. James Wozniak, member, Getman Road, Alden, New York, term to expire December 31st, 2029. And Brian Waite, alternate, Fridman Road, Darien Center, term to expire December 31st, 2026. Any questions regarding these? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion?
I'll
Made-
second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 11-12, approve application for New York State Council on Arts Community Arts Grant. Be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes and directs the town supervisor to sign any and all documents related to a Community Arts Council grant in conjunction with J. Brian Pfeiffer of Sculptor's Soul Studio to the New York State Council on Arts for funding for the creation and installation of a community art project on the grounds of the Town Hall, Bennington Center, with the town to supply grant match in the form of in-kind services and a monetary amount not to exceed $500. And Mr. Pfeiffer is here if he wants to maybe make a
You're gonna
brief
make me dance, aren't you?
presentation.
Pretty much, I'll just show you folks what it is. So this is a grant that we're gonna apply for. And the project itself is about $13,000. And the grant maximum is $7,500. So the in-kind, like Supervisor Grant mentioned, I will be doing in-kind stuff for materials to compensate that difference between $7,500 and $13,000. Anyways, in a nutshell, it's gonna be looking like this. And there's a panel, I'll give you an example of it is. The front, it'll be sitting on a box, if you will. The front, back, and sides of that box will have handprints on them from the community. So we'll have 2 community days. Folks will come down, put their handprints on there. And it'll be on concrete. I did the reflection tree in Attica last year. So if y'all wanna see what that was all about, drive through Attica Park. And we put handprints on the tree, We had 125 people come that day, and that's gonna be there for long past our time. And I suspect it's gonna be a bigger turnout than 125 people, so that's the project. I've done public installations for a couple of decades now, so I'll leave this all up here, y'all look at it and give you an idea of the stuff I do. Any questions?
Good job.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to approve the community arts grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the clerk pointed out to me, I skipped right over, resolution 11-10, which is a little important, I guess. It's approving the 2026 town budget. Be it resolved that following a duly advertised public hearing held on the 5th day of November 2025, the Bennington Town Board hereby adopts the proposed 2026 Town of Bennington budget with a total levy of $1,740,234.46. And authorizes the amounts therein to be levied upon the real property within the town of Bennington on the 2026 town and county tax bills. Any questions from the board? Not, that incorporates all the changes that we made following the public hearing that we held last week. All in favor? Oh, that's true.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution 13, approve use of town hall for Attica School Board meeting. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Bennington hereby approves the use of the Bennington Town Hall by the Board of Education of Attica Central School District for a board meeting on February 12th, 2026. It's in the evening.
Is that what time it is?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And she didn't put a time, just February 12th.
Okay. Okay, I've got
Will
them.
they put advertising?
Oh, yeah.
They'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they like to get it set early enough in advance so they can put it in their newsletters.
Oh.
And then also if it's a conflict with us, to, make a alternative arrangement for another date. All right, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Resolution 11-14, and this is rescinding resolution 2025-9-1 and replace the Harris Corners Fire Company contract for 2026 through 2030. Whereas the Bennington Town Board has held a duly advertised public hearing on the 17th day of September 2025 regarding the 2026 to 2030 contract between the town and the Harris Corners Fire Company for fire and emergency medical services. Now therefore be it resolved that resolution 2025-9-1, approved on September 17, 2025, is hereby rescinded. And be it further resolved that the town board hereby approves the contract for services in the following amounts. 2026 is $37,601.64 for fire services and $2,000 for emergency medical services. 2027 is $39,105.71 for fire services and $2,000 for emergency medical services. 2028 is $40,669.94 for fire services and $2,000 for emergency medical services. 2029, $42,496.74 for fire services and $2,000 for emergency medical services. And 2030 is $44,196.61 for fire services and $2,000 for emergency medical services. Payments for fire and rescue services to be payable to the Harris Corners Fire Company, and separate payments for emergency medical ambulance service to be payable to the Strikersville Fire Company. And be it further resolved that the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to sign the above approved agreement on behalf of the town. And the reason for rescinding 2025 is the amounts, they gave a percentage on how much they wanted to increase their contract, but did not specify that the percentage only applied to the fire part. It did not apply to the emergency ambulance service. And the contract is set up so there are identical amounts levied between the town of Sheldon for their half of the fire district and the town of Bennington for our half.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 11-15. Set date for a public hearing to rescind local law number 2, year 1996, establishing dog licensing fees, and adopt local law number 7, year 2026. Whereas local law number 2 was adopted in 1996 to establish fee schedules for spay-neuter dogs and unspayed, unneutered dogs in the town. And whereas due to increased fees being assessed by the County of Wyoming for animal control services to each town in the county, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Bennington will hold a public hearing on proposed local law number 7, year 2025, a local law to rescind local law number 2, year 1996, and to establish dog licensing fees within the town on the 10th day of December 2026 at 7:30 p.m. at the Bennington Town Hall, 905 Old Allegheny Road, Attica, New York. And be it further resolved, the town clerk of the town of Bennington is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same in the legal publication of this town.
How much are they going up? The spay and neuter is going up. Spayed and neutered is going up $1.75, and unneutered is going up, oh, that's wrong. Spay and neutered is going up $1, and unspayed and neutered is going up $3. Now, our fees will stay the same, we're not taking any more. We won't be making any more money, all the money will be going to Wyoming County, I believe.
questions on this? If not, can I get a motion to approve the resolution to set the date for the public hearing?
Second.
Had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. Minutes of the previous town board meeting.
Are in your packets.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
You can just accept them
And
as.
that's true. All right, so there's no changes. Communications.
I had nothing.
I have information received on changes in some of our insurance coverages, as well as the fact that Tompkins Financial has been acquired by A.J. Gallagher, but our service reps should not be changing at all, which is good news. Report from the Bennington Justice Court for the month of September for Justice Lindsay, as well as the month of October. I have a summary that was received from all of the court transactions, financial transactions for the month of September from the State Comptroller's Office. And also we received updated reports from our town engineer regarding progress on the solar projects in the town. So, Mr. Tishko, we have a copy for you.
Thank you.
All right. And that's all the correspondence. Oh, it's not all the correspondence from here. I have a letter dated November 10th, members of the Bennington Town Board. I'm pending my resignation as bookkeeper for the town of Bennington. My husband had 5 stents put in his heart between August and September, and he wishes to do more traveling to see his out-of-state friends and relatives. This is hard to do when I have to plan between payrolls and board meetings. I have enjoyed working with you since I was appointed in August of 2011, but my family needs to come first. I told Ellen I would finish the year and do the W-2s, 1099s, month-end, and year-end closing procedures. I should be done by January 6, 2026, and submit a voucher for my January time. Thank you for understanding. Sincerely, Judy Spencer. Thank you, Mrs. Spencer, for all the years and all of the work. And I always tell everybody, you are like a bulldog. When there is problems with software or with the state reporting systems and whatever, your tenacity in getting them resolved has been much appreciated. So I wish you well on your travels, and thank you very much.
You can have her back at it.
Thank you.
Plus,
You're welcome.
it's been very nice having you right up the road for when I lock myself in. Okay, does anyone else have any?
I do. I got a notification in Java there was a presentation by the MRB group that does all the Association of Towns. And it was a program that he put on about grant writing. So at the end of the presentation, I asked him about, are there any grants out there for roads? So he said, I got a great team. He said, I'll look into it, they'll find something, they'll call you back. Okay. So he said, send me an email. So I put, hi Matt, I attended your presentation in Java the other night. You asked me to contact you regarding finding grant money for our dirt gravel roads in the town of Bennington. I appreciate any information you can provide to help us. He wrote back, thanks so much for attending and reaching out. Just a quick follow-up, do you want to retain them as unpaved roads or do you want to finish them with asphalt? I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I put the dirt gravel roads need a lot of work before we could even consider asphalt. Probably oil and stone is more likely, but any information you give us would be more helpful. Alan responded, FYI, the town has approximately 65 miles of town roads, half of which are paved, oil and stone, and remaining gravel. Some residents don't want paving as they are afraid of increased traffic and speed levels. Trying to balance that thought with the need to get away from mud, dust, ruts, spring thaw, etc. has been a challenge. So that was October 30th. He wrote back, that's a helpful feedback, thanks, we'll be in touch as soon as possible. November 3rd, he writes back, just in follow-up to our exchange last week, I met with our grants team to discuss this opportunity. They are going to do some research, nothing jumped to top of mind, but we will keep it on radar and let you know when we find a hit. Thanks again for attending, and let me know if there's anything else we can do to support you. So, wait and see it until you, he'll let me know. That's fine. That's my correspondence.
Okay. Anyone else have any correspondence? Sure. Okay. Departments. Highway Department. Obviously, we've been out
Joe, you want that?
already doing plowing, and salt and sanding. We are opening bids next Wednesday on the remaining component of the dump truck that we approved earlier this fall, and we will be, utilizing CHIPS money to pay for that, and then that leaves still over $100,000 in CHIPS funds for road work.
Do we have a date for, do we have a time for
Yes.
next week?
It's 5:30 on the 19th. Okay, and.
When is it?
It's
Five-
in the.
yeah.
I'll show you. It's in the-
And Mike, Travis, our newest employee, has passed his CDL exam,
Okay.
so. That's it. I don't know. I think they'll be continuing to use the profile tracker.
Oh, yeah, I've had probably 2 or 3 people that it's been on their road and they say it looks great. So I saw it on, somebody that's on Krieger Road, Cirque Road.
I've heard from Coyle Road.
Oh, yeah,
Coyle
Coyle
Road,
Road, yeah.
yeah. It looks good, yeah, thank you. Town clerk, tax collector?
In your package, you will find the town clerk report for October 2025, disbursement Funds, $1,437 collected. Paid to the supervisor for general fund, $406.37. Paid to New York State DEC for hunting, fishing, $512.13. Paid to Wyoming County Treasurer for dog licenses, $400. Paid to New York State Animal Population Control Program, $96. Paid to New York State Health Department for marriage licenses, $22.50.
So did we use the keep money out of that money that you got for dog licenses and population control?
No, that's staying the same so far. New York State takes $1 for spay and neuter and $3 for unspay and neuter. So far, that has not changed. Vital statistics, year-to-date, 0 births, 4 marriage permits issued, and 8 deaths.
The assessor is in his office, he will be working on, getting year-end applications coming in, for year-end submissions. And also, the county is working on renewing the agricultural district that the town of Bennington is in. If you have any questions regarding whether or not you're in the district, the clerk has a map posted on her bulletin board, and it shows the various sections, and they update that. Some parcels get added in, and some parcels get removed, depending upon the usage of the property. Zoning and planning.
In your package, you'll find a monthly report from Wyoming County Zoning Department for October 2025. No open projects this month. There have been 3 permits issued and no other violations reported.
Oh, yeah, the home occupation.
We've had two applications for home occupation permits. They've been turned over to Jenna Marley in the zoning department for follow-through. First one is John Burek, 640 Allegheny Road, Darien Center. His business will be John's Gun Repair, a home-based internet business and local sales with gunsmithing. And then the second is Jason Conrad, 1103 Clinton Street in Attica, be called Conrad IBA LLC, a dairy supply business.
Okay.
So do you want to set a public hearing?
Do you want to have a public hearing at our next town board meeting in December? Okay. And Jenna will coordinate with the applicants on getting notices to the neighboring landowners. So the next town board meeting at 7:30. And all home occupations are for a 1-year term, so if anyone has any concerns, report them either to the town hall or to the zoning officer, and they can be addressed before the renewal process even starts. And then that way, the business person can address things and try to alleviate any concerns with the neighbors. And then renewals are on an annual basis as well for home occupation.
Should they be invited to the meeting?
Yeah. Anything else under zoning or planning?